Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back after 2 long years to the Fallout review series. This is season 2, or as I just put in the YouTube title, season. I'll have to fix that. Season 2, episode 1, spoilers review slash spoilers discussion. My name is the Flea Soup Brewer, Travis Snell. I'm joined by.
Hey, I'm Dylan. Must.
And that is Domas, yes. And yeah, no, we're here. We're here a couple days earlier than expected. I don't know if they're swapping the whole schedule for this. So just before we get into our overall thoughts, because yes, if you haven't seen the show, we'll give a little kind of a brief thoughts of F1. Which I don't like saying that, but technically it works. But Fallout 1 and or Fallout Season 1, not the game. That's a whole different story. I'm sure one day we'll start retroing the games. I still would like to very much one day get into New Vegas. I have not touched a single second of it, so we'll see that online. But yeah, our plan is to review this entire series. We're just gonna wait and see because obviously this week this is supposed to come on the Thursday, and then randomly they're just like, hey, it's Tuesday. I don't know if they're gonna change all the days. If this was just because something's going on Thursday or Friday, nothing I can think of. Like even with Avatar, I don't think they're worried about that per se, right? People are still at home, so I don't know. So it's a TBD because the next couple of weeks, obviously, it's in the middle. Like one's literally on Christmas Eve, and then the next one's on New Year's Eve. So if they change those around, or if there's some time in between, maybe Dylan and I will get together, or there might be a chance that in a couple of weeks we do like a mega review. Where we're reviewing like the past couple of weeks, so it's kind of an annoying schedule. So we'll wait and see how it kind of flies and everything. It's kind of like it. Remember when we had that, and then all of a sudden like, oh, we're releasing a second episode on Friday. That's the thing with
Oh
streaming
yeah,
services; they
that
don't
did
really have
just
to.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, they've released it on Halloween Friday. So that's the thing with streaming services. They'll say, "Oh, it's every Wednesday," but it's like, we'll see. But we plan to review it all. So yeah, lots of stuff. If you are a fan of Fallout, we're gonna talk about season 1 a little bit here in our thoughts. But Dylan and the other boys just did a Fallout, a whole side quest. But one of the main topics is pitching your own Fallout. I haven't listened to it, but Taylor told me one of his pitches, and I wasn't surprised, but I'm excited to deep dive into it. So you can
Good
check out
episode.
that. Was it a
Worth
good
to listen
episode?
to.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so you can check out that. Check out on Thursday or Friday the aforementioned Avatar, Fire and Ash. The other boys, me and Dylan, will not be there because I've had enough Fire and Ash in my day. I'll let them pound the concrete on the Navi,
Yep.
and then should be a weekly geek tomorrow. Taylor and Kirkland. I got Trash told you, and then this Saturday 11 a.m. PST is our last After 9 of the year. It's our call-in show for Phase 2 patrons and up, and we're just gonna probably just see what people are doing for holidays, talk about some movies, games to round out the year. It should be. I feel like the last of the years just are kind of fun because everyone, even though it's we're a new year, you know, as an adult, you're still paying rent, you're still paying food, but there's always that like, okay, Christmas and New Year around the corner to get a little, hopefully, oomph. And if not, listen After 9, you'll get that oomph. So, Dylan Musk, before we found out if this episode gave you oomph, because this is a little bit different. Obviously, not year, but last season was a full binge one. They dropped every single episode, we reviewed it. So this time they're going a little
Oh
bit
yeah.
different. Yeah, I guess I found out after that Amazon likes to do that with the first season as like a tester, and then the other seasons. But even then, I found this strange because I don't know what they're doing this year, but they did that with The Boys, and I think The Boys is their most successful show. But every year after The Boys, they always drop 3 episodes, and then they went weekly. So this one just did the 1 episode. So
So
again, streaming services, who knows? But give a brief, overview of your thoughts on, I guess, Fallout in general, Fallout Season 1, and then also you can relay into Season 2 here as, in case there's someone listening that hasn't heard anything ever from us, which we happen all the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I big Fallout fan just as a series, and I'm definitely a late comer in that I jumped on with Fallout 3, and then I've played since then. So I haven't played like the OG games. I mean, I have gone back and tried them a bit, but old game old. It's really hard to get
Yeah.
into some of those games. But yeah, one of my favorites, not to spoil me and Kirkland's our favorite game series episode that we did a couple months ago, but Fallout may have appeared in my top 10, so go check that out. And yeah, of those games, Fallout New Vegas has and still is my favorite. So obviously the fact that the stinger at the end of season 1
right.
was kind of looking down at the New Vegas situation, that was obviously very exciting for me. And then yeah, I actually in the last maybe month or so have been rewatching the first season, and I still have like 2 episodes to go, and then they said, "Oh yeah, it's coming out 2 days early." I'm like,
Right.
"Okay, I guess on Monday I'm grinding through this last bit of episode." But it was a good fun grind, and yeah, fun to rewatch that show because I forgot about a lot, and I think most of the key things they do in the recap for this season 2, and I still watch that anyway just to make sure I didn't skip any necessary details. But yeah, just a really fun show, a good rewatch. Definitely picked up on some things, see more details, and yeah, I just think all the storylines work for the most part, which is pretty impressive for a show like this that it kind of has like an A, B, C, D, F plot. Like there's all sorts of things going on, and the fact that like most of it is engaging is really impressive. So jumping into season 2, I mean, okay, how do I want to say this without spoilers? I'll say the first 20 minutes is like, oh my god, the amount of fan service that's in here. I was frothing at the mouth.
Really?
Travis.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
excited
there's
for you.
so
I'm
much
excited
in
for you
here.
to tell me. Okay, good.
Yeah, there's so much in here that I was just popping off. I had a big smile on my face, especially as the New Vegas fan in me was definitely, that was the fan service stuff was right there. So that was good. And then honestly, the rest of the episode, pretty slow. This definitely is like an episode 1 of a season in which there isn't really much that happened. Most of these storylines, or a couple of them, end in like, the classic, the last thing that happens in the episode setting up next week is like, oh shit, that's a big thing. But we didn't really get the result of any of those yet. But we get introduced to a couple new characters. I guess really just one new character, and then we kind of just are getting set up with everyone. So honestly, a bit of a snoozer overall of those first 20 minutes for me, but I am very excited for what's to come, and I think this was really just laying the groundwork. And yeah, I mean, even if we don't review the next 2 episodes, like when they drop, I'll definitely be excited to watch them as soon as I can. So very, very excited for this season ahead.
Yeah, I'm even more of a newbie with Fallout because Fallout, I've said this before, just Bethesda in general just escaped me my entire life until Geekverse started. I got Fallout 4 because of the Geekverse hype, and I had a great time with that. And that's the only Fallout game I've still ever played. And I had a fun time, and everyone tells me that's like, oh yeah, like it's a good one, but it's not as good as 3 or New Vegas. So I'm always like, okay, great. I can't wait to get to those games eventually because I had a great time with Fallout 4. So I imagine I'll have an even better time then. So I've always wanted to, but obviously those are just longer, big games, and lots of times I feel like when we do those longer big games, it's more of a newer game for a review. Like even when I'm playing stuff like Resident Evil right now, it's like, oh, 8 hours. That's easy to do as an old game, where investing a lot of time in an old game, at some point I will. So who knows? Maybe next year, if because if people don't know our drafts, next year retrospectives are on the line and the video game draft gets to pick that. So maybe that's one I would pick. I don't know. We'll have to see. But so I enjoyed that. And then I enjoyed season 1. I can't remember where I was exactly. I should listen back to my overalls a little bit, but I feel like I'm at least was a 8 to 8.5. I feel like it was a pretty strong season with maybe a couple episodes here. There are plot lines where it might have head scratchy. Like I don't think I remember it being complete 10 out of 10, no issues. I feel like we had some discussion, but also very tough and I didn't get to do what Dylan did. I wanted to, and that was my plan because I've been in the middle of trying to watch some of the movies this year, and my plan was to rewatch it, and it stuck up on me. Like even when we finished it, I was like, right when I pulled the schedule, I'm like, Fallout's already this week. It's just in general, life's moving fast. Yeah, no break. So I'm glad you watched it, and then I did watch a recap, of course, and most of it I pretty much remember. There's a couple storylines. I think a lot of the people in the vaults right now, I'm like head scratching, like what was going on here? I remember there's something, but not exactly. So. And this is where I'm excited to be on the other side because I feel like I'm always doing that with like a Batman or a Marvel or somewhere like, oh yeah, this happened. I'm just watching the opening and I'm not doing like the Homelander like blank face. But I'm just like, all right, we're just meeting Mr. House and this is the stuff that's going on. I'm like, okay, they're setting up a story. So I didn't have any of that fanfare. Not that I didn't enjoy it, but I think I agree with your assessment. This was pretty slow. I think this is one that. When I talk about how Amazon does like the 3 episode drops, maybe even 2 would have been nice here, because sometimes I do feel like I understand why a lot of the pilots nowadays are a lot slower, set up a lot of stuff, because it's not like how it used to be where, it's 24 episodes, there's a 2-month break, and then you're back. It's been 2 years since the show, right? And it's not also just like like Friends with 6 characters against some hijinks. It's a bunch of different characters. There might be 6 main characters in general, but they all are in different spots or different main stuff going on. Like you have the Vault people, you got the Ghoul, I can't remember our main character's name right now. That's how new I am back into it. I'll have to pull it up. But that's the thing. It's not just like a simple like, Phoebe's lost her cat. It's like they're fighting a war, they're dealing with a conspiracy, they're dealing with like nuclear bombs, and then we have flashbacks. So I think that's the thing where this felt like a lot of we have to reintroduce everybody to everybody and what's going on, kind of set the stage. So I kind of hope next week's a little faster, and I will, because I see it on IMDb, they're previewing it for me now. I gotta find, what is the main character's name?
Lucy.
What was it, sorry?
Lucy.
Okay, thank you. When I clicked on the full IMDb page, it just hit me with the loudest trailer known to man. But yeah, I think that's a dynamic that we got a little bit last year that we liked, and obviously it ended with, "Hey, you're gonna follow me." So I think same thing. We got a little bit of heel here, but I think the Lucy Ghoul dynamic is gonna be a fun one once we get more into it. This was very much just like a classic buddy cop, like good cop, bad cop kind of routine stuff, just like as far as comedy, like nothing deep's really going on here. And I guess it might be minor spoilers, but I will say I'll wait to at the end of the season or even the middle point. I don't know how I feel about more flashbacks, and maybe because it seems like a lot of those flashbacks might have to do with a certain character that was in the beginning, so maybe you'll have a different stance, or you might know why we're going a certain way. But I just felt like when we ended the flashbacks last year, it felt like a good point. It was right at the point where they showed the nukes and he loses his family and everything. I didn't feel the need to go back again, so I'm gonna have to wait and see. So I don't know, that's a TBD. I just kind of, when they first came out, I went, all right, like what are we really gonna get from here? But who knows? That's a wait and see thing. So I thought this was like a good episode, but like you said, a bit on the slower side, and there was some action there, but nothing that I'm writing home about. But I'm hoping it's just kind of to set the stage. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Anything else on Spores?
No, I think I'm good.
No. Okay. Well, if you've not seen the episode, now's your time to bow out. It'll be on the feeds whenever you want it, and we'll be right back. And we're back. So you want to start with those first 20 minutes, Dilmas? How they're getting the fireworks in the brain popping off?
Yeah, so I guess just kicking it off with, they call him Robert House in this. I and the New Vegas fans know him as Mr. House. That's what his name is.
Mr. House, okay. They gave him a first name in here.
If you quizzed me, I would not be able to tell you that his first name was Robert, because I don't know if that's ever even. It's probably said in the game, probably in like terminals and stuff, but I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I guess kicking. He's probably in the trailers too, and I probably just forgot about that. But it's such an integral character to the story of New Vegas, and so I'm really curious where, because I'd have to look up like where in the timeline the events of this take place with the game's New Vegas, and if they're even like in the same world, or if it's just like, oh yeah, it's the same locations, and some things are familiar, but like we're not abiding by like the characters and things that happen in there. I'm gonna assume this is like before, but I don't know. We haven't really seen him in like modern day yet, or like what's going on with Mr. House, and we haven't been to Vegas yet, obviously. So
right, it's just been a flashback so far. So
yeah, I guess it's just tricky because like New Vegas, a game with tons of different endings and ways you can side and characters you can kill or not kill, and so it's like it's hard to have a follow up to that, because obviously every player, like the showrunners would have to pick what they think is the canon ending, I suppose, for certain characters that are relevant. But yeah, getting introduced to Mr. House, because I don't think in the game they ever do flashbacks. I think the only time is like, I guess in Fallout 4, the opening, it's not a flashback, but you just have the event of like the bomb actually dropping.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about the Cooper Howard when he's going around with his daughter. Like that felt very similar to the start of Fallout 4, so I thought that was pretty fun, with like the Vault Tech guy and his little clipboard going up to the houses to like pitch people and sell people on the Vault stuff. But yeah, like seeing Robert House in I guess the before times is not something I'm used to, so I'm intrigued for that reason. But yeah, to your point, I'm curious how much we get of that, how much of it is like politics from the before times, because we did see a lot of that stuff, and it did feel like it was properly set up. But I guess that was the first point of hype. I don't know if you want to touch on that before I move to the next thing.
Well, I was going to say one thing that apparently, so the timeline of this is it takes place, or is it about 15 years after Fallout New Vegas?
Interesting.
So Fallout New Vegas is 2,281. This is 2,296.
So who knows what'll be the results of anything from that game if they are adhering to any of it, just because of, once again, different endings and stuff.
So with Robert House, is he somebody in the games? Is he pop up lots of time as a big antagonist, or is he just kind of a always around sort of character?
So definitely set up as an antagonist, but because it's Fallout, you can side with him.
Oh, okay. I like that. And I'm guessing this wasn't the case. Justin Theroux didn't voice him in the games, did he?
That I don't know, and I don't even want to. I don't know. Like I don't know how much you want me to say about him because of spoilers if you do play that game eventually. So I feel like, and honestly, I don't even know what I can spoil until we actually see him like in this current time, because I don't know any of this before time stuff. Like I know a little bit about the character's backstory, I
Right.
guess, but
I feel like they have to. We'll see, and because obviously I'll see if I can get out scot free. If not, then maybe I will have to play it sooner rather than later. Because I feel like if they go into New Vegas, and especially with this guy, I think he's gonna be in lots of flashbacks. They got Justin Theroux, who's more of a notable actor. I feel like I'm gonna get revealed whatever happening in New Vegas. So we'll wait till we get there. So I won't ask questions yet. But my prediction is, I imagine he kind of is like. Not the exact same thing, but and I'm not looking at Dylan right now, so I can't see his facial reaction. With that other guy, Lucy's brother, that's in the vault, you know how there's that thing going around with the brain? My prediction is that there's going to be this character is somewhat around, but not in like a human form, but still, whether it's an artificial intelligence or that where his brain's still working. That's my long term theory. So we'll see if it spoils, and that'll be interesting if it does, because it's still 15 years later, right? So
yes, yeah, exactly.
a lot of things happen there. But again, if that character is, I think, in heavy flashbacks, they're setting him up to be in the Prime Day stuff. So, because it would just be, I don't think the story is just the ghoul kills them in the flashback and then that's
Right.
it. Because that's
Yeah.
that's all he did in the flashback. Is we want you to spy on him, we want you to kill him. Which is again that was, I guess I'm jumping all over, but just because we're talking about House and the ghouls, when that lady's like, "You're our only hope," it's like. I don't know. The world's on the line. They can't just set up like like any assassination. They can't just car bomb him. They can't just really, right? Like he's just an actor. They can't set
I
up
guess
anything.
I feel like maybe Cooper Howard has the clout to get close enough to him. Maybe that's what it is.
But just do a stick of dynamite. Do like
Sure, and
JFK
he's
got
just,
shot
like,
in that era.
bars. He's just in bars, like
Yeah.
picking fights. Like I feel like he's an easy mark.
What I will ask, and maybe this won't be too like if it you're gonna frame from too many spoilers, but that tech that at least was using, is that a big part in the New Vegas game with the back of the head like controlling people, or is that maybe something newer?
I don't actually remember the back of the head specific thing. There's a lot of
Similarities.
like robot related things with like Robert House and Mr. House and his faction and things like that. But I don't really remember that neck part. And like specifically in this episode, this is jumping ahead again, but they go to Vault 24, which I don't remember that, and I looked it up, and I guess Vault 24 is not in the game, but apparently it's like cut content, and so there was something that's supposed to be there, and there are like
cool.
files, and some people have found some things, but it'd be really interesting if they adhere to the canon of this cut content from that. But obviously, like setting that up as like a vault that was, I guess, under his control, because that's kind of like one of the things in the finale. If you forget about that, it's just like all the different corps pretty much are like buying different vaults so they can run their own experiments to determine who's going to run the best society. Like that's just like the fucked up part of it. And so obviously that one is presumably one that Mr. House was running, or it could be that he invaded that afterwards. But it seems like that was kind of what was going on there originally. But and then other people came in. But I don't know. That was an interesting sequence. I maybe wanted a bit more from it. I think I'm just like, anytime we go to a new vault, it's a very exciting thing. And the one we went to, I think she said the number again. It was like Vault 3, or I think it was 4, whatever it was, that they went to last season. Like we spent like a good 2 or 3 episodes in there, or like maybe a cliffhanger of one episode, full episode, and then we would leave the one after that or something like that. And so this one, obviously there was like only one guy there, so we're not interacting with much, but it felt like we only saw like 2 rooms or something. So maybe wanted a bit more, because I don't think we'll ever go back to this vault now.
No, I think unless there's some sort of flashback, but it felt very it felt like a checkpoint in a video game, right? Of just get some loot and then you save and you move on, just to set up that okay, her dad's been here and we're moving on. So, but we could see vaults maybe like that, because even the ghoul is like, oh, this is one of the better ones. So it's like, okay, well, if this thing was run down, just looked like there's doing all these bad experiments, and he's saying this is like one of the better ones. I wonder if they're kind of propping the show up that way, of like, oh, in the game these vaults are bad, but wait till in the show there's going to be even some worse stuff going down there. So, but that is cool. That's even if they don't do anything from that game, that's cool. That's kind of alluding to something that's been cut from in the past. So that's fun when you kind of have, again, the brands like synchronized that way with people, with the games and the writers heavily involved in the show. So yeah.
And then that's even actually more interesting, because like Todd Howard seems to be involved in the show to some extent, but like he did not make New Vegas, right? That was like the Obsidian one that they made. So I don't know what's going on there.
It's like an adoptive or a stepdad sort of scenario. Like, I'm really proud of my son. It's like
I'm sure he's played the game a lot. But and then the second kind of big hype thing is the Novak sequence. So that little settlement is called Novak. It's like the no vacancy sign is like half burnt out, so they just call it like half of the word no vacancy, Novak. And at first, I recognize the name when they popped it up. It's like at a motel setting turned settlement. And I was like, oh man, if they don't do the big dinosaur, I'm gonna be so pissed. But then they did the big dinosaur, and Lucy's up there in the sniper tower dinosaur, which which was great because that is an iconic section in the game.
Nice.
And there's like I think Boone is the name of the sniper, like the guard who's like up there most of the time. And I think because I feel like Goggins was referencing, he's like, oh yeah, there was a nice old lady that used to run that shop. I don't remember an old lady who ran the shop, but I'm sure that is a connection to like the character who would run that, because that was like not a raider place. That was like a regular settlement in New Vegas. You could just go and hang out, and I think you can actually buy a room there like permanently and have a permanent place there. So it's a place you go back to pretty often in the game, usually. So that was great. And then in that sequence, they play like the biggest, most popular, and probably my favorite song from the games, but also just like from New Vegas specifically, of Big Iron, which is just such a banging song. I love that. I listen to that song like, I don't put on I have a Fallout music playlist, and I put them on like maybe once or twice a year. Like, it's not frequently. It's just like a very specific mood. But Big Iron is a song I'll listen to all the time because it's just so hype. So the fact that we get this cool action sequence in Novak with Big Iron playing, I was squeezing that orange, man. I was so hyped. It was great.
That's cool. It starts that way. Like, I think to me that is smart, because I feel like we've done this so many times, right, with video games or movies or comic books, when it's, blank, like, Batman, the Killing Joke, and it's like, obviously they're not doing a full adaptation of New Vegas, but still, whenever you evoke something that the fans really love, and especially, at least with this, it is a loose adaptation. It's like, we're going to take things, but sometimes, and even then, I guess they've never said it's Fallout Season 2 New Vegas, but the poster has the New Vegas like thing on it. Like, they're heavily saying, okay, we're going to hit some of these themes.
And she just called it Las Vegas, and I don't think he corrected her. Like, I don't know if they're going to call it that, right?
Why wouldn't they call that, like, is New Vegas just the name of the game, or is New Vegas the actual place?
Both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe she just doesn't know it as that, or maybe that was just like we're just so used to
obviously
saying
she wouldn't know what it is, but he would be like, this is Las Vegas that you're looking at. But maybe it's because he's from the before times. So maybe to him, he doesn't like, this is New Vegas, this is Las Vegas. Back in my day, it was called Las Vegas. So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, but
maybe he hasn't been there in like 50 years or something, and maybe that he got that name later on. I guess that's also a possibility.
Well, like, he's been alive for at least 200 years, right? So he's probably forgotten a thing or two. But I think with or what I was saying is I think that's a good thing, where we'll have to see more for yourself and other people, but to start off with some allusions, whether it's even down to the score, but location, I think that's good, because I feel we've seen that before, where people use these big popular brands or stories as kind of a little bit of bait, right, to get you excited, to get you in the door. If like, oh, we're doing New Vegas next season, and is that just a name? Is it like an episode or two, right? Like, I remember there was a whole thing with the Flash CW show. They're like, oh, we're doing Flashpoint next season, and Flash, the TV show, is 24 episodes. They only did it for episode 1 and 2, and then they closed off that story. And Flashpoint literally could be like a season-long thing, and that was almost my point too. I never finished the Flash. A lot of people tapped out, like, felt like kind of a tease there. So again, we'll see what happens, but I think that's cool that they're already using that stuff. Even though I didn't love that scene per se, it had nothing to do with the score or the setting. It just, some of the comedy just wasn't working for me.
This episode was not as funny as the first season so far.
And it felt like something was off, even with, and it wasn't Ella Purnell who was poorly acting. It just felt like when they go to her and she's like, oh, like, maybe you're sure you're gonna, like, I think it was just the back and forth she had with that guy, and kind of the, like I said, the good cop, bad cop thing they were doing with the ghoul. It just wasn't, it's at times, usually I would laugh or at least chuckle. This just felt something was off with a lot of stuff, but particularly the opening scene, where it just wasn't working for me, really. Even the whole thing where he's choking and she's trying to shoot and everything. It just something just wasn't working for me here. So
it's hard for me to remove my just like hype nostalgia bias from that sequence, but I definitely agree that this first episode, and I think especially like rewatching season 1 and being like, yeah, this show is really funny, and like every episode's making me chuckle a few times. There's little physical jokes, there's just really good snappy dialogue, the funny quirks of the different characters, and so far didn't see that here, but I don't know, maybe they're just getting the rust off, and we'll get back to it. And we know Macaulay Culkin's in this season, right? He's a funny guy, so
he's got to bring, I hope he's a funny guy still. When's the last time you saw him?
It's been a while. Yeah.
So I mean, I hope he's a funny guy. Hey, I hope it happens because we
I
see
think he was on Hot Ones. He was funny on there, but that's different.
Okay.
When,
Yeah. Well, because we need Home Alone 3. So it's just, it to me, I think I've recognized a trend now, Dylan, of instead of bringing people back and getting them popular on the IP, I had another example, but it was like Brendan Fraser won an Oscar for The Whale, and then they're making The Mummy 3. And there's another person like they did something, and now we're doing this. I feel like it's like they always need their one big thing to get back in the door, and then when they're hot, they're like, let's do another. So that's what I'm hoping Fallout's good for him. I almost thought we were going to see him. Do you know where we're seeing him at all?
No,
Okay.
I can't even remember if I saw him in a trailer or if I just saw his name was on.
We've seen him in one trip, but it's just been like a quick flash of him like smiling or something like that. I was wondering. I don't want to make it a full-on prediction, but I was wondering if he was going to be one of the frozen people that was getting thawed at the end of this episode. I could be wrong, but just because, you know, Macaulay, if he is still good, like I can see him doing that type of stuff. But yeah, with that storyline, I'm interested to see where that goes. I credit the character is still just trying to stick it out, got no water, got no food. And then, yeah, I guess he's just going to thaw all these people who are probably not going to be happy, right? Because their whole plan was to wait a certain time and wait till things were perfect. But now they're just going to be chilling. And I guess, like, but they could can't they get frozen again? Or is it once they're thawed out,
Yeah, they
done?
could, but I wonder how much of them will, like, wake up and do, like, a scan of, like, okay, where are things at? And how many of them will be like, oh, so much has deviated from where we thought things would be before we got in here. So my prediction is that none of them, or at least few of them, are going to want to go back in there. But I also don't know how many of them are. Presumably they're from all these different factions, even though they're in the same place. I would think that they're all kind of under the Vault-Tec umbrella, but maybe from different companies and stuff. Presumably all like rich, snobby people. But yeah, that I don't know where that's going to go. I don't really have a prediction for that. But obviously that's a huge cliffhanger, probably the biggest thing at the end of this episode that's really like, okay, where are we going to go with this storyline? Because that could go any manner of directions. So yeah, that was interesting sequence for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what, like you said, I think that's like, is it a bunch of, you could do a bunch of people against them, you could do a bunch of people for them, you could do kind of in the middle of things going on, they learn these things, it's not exactly what they planned out. So I just hope it's interesting. That's all I can say. Like, I'm not saying I'm expecting it not to be, but getting all those people out there, I hope it's somewhat intriguing. I imagine they're gonna want to leave that just vault with no food. Like, they're gonna have to, if they can't get thawed back up or something like that, they're gonna have to leave, right? So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and what are you feeling about the rest of the Vault stuff? So we have like at the end of the last season, like Vault, I forget if it's 32 or 33. They need these different numbers, but obviously it makes sense that they all have the same number because they're so close to each other. But yeah, like a bunch of them go back to 32 to rehabilitate that after the Raiders killed them all off in the start of last season. So you kind of have these different factions being split up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't... Like, I'm curious where this is going to go now, because I think the most intriguing part of that storyline last season was Norm, the brother, and his, uncovering the mystery, figuring out what's going on, and then obviously like that big reveal when he gets to 31 and sees the little brain guy just with all the cryopods. But like that seems like it's going to be separate, but I don't know. Maybe all these people are just going to pop in and not want to leave the vault. Maybe they're just going to want to stay here and just take over what's going on in 33 and 32. So maybe that's where it's going to go. But I'm not too sure, because they're also almost setting up. Like, I feel like they were doing this the whole first season with like the lady with blonde hair and the eye patch who got her eye gouged out at the big battle in the start of season 1. I always thought she had like a sinister edge to her, but we never really went there fully. And again, I just feel like something about her is sinister, but I don't know where we're going with it.
So that's what I need to do. Well, okay, to touch on that first point you said, I think eventually the 31 vault people in that story will interlink. I think they'll probably have a couple episodes. I was going to check how many episodes this season was, because I think last season was it 10, but I'm seeing 16. So is it 8 and 8? Okay, 8 and 8. So I could see maybe around that like 4 to 5 mark of a couple episodes with the brother, and then those vault people, then maybe they kind of go over there. That's what I think is going to happen. That can create, and again too, maybe that's a thing where they come in and they're not violent per se, but they're taking over because they don't like how people are doing stuff, right? X, Y, and Z, whatever. They could be good characters or bad characters. But what I was going to ask, that's the only thing that I watched the recap, and for the most part, understood anything. Even if there's like, okay, I don't exactly remember 100% the storyline. Fine. What is going on with the eye patch lady and the Chet Jr. when he's like, this isn't my baby? Like that I've completely forgotten about. So like what's going on here? Why is it like an awkward situation? Were they married and it's not his baby, or like what is happening here?
Yeah, I think because I believe because Lucy, is she from 33? She's from 33, I think, right?
I
Like
think
that's
so,
the
yeah.
original one we started with.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think that's right. So yeah, I think Blonde Lady came over from 32 a little bit later on, and then she I think she was already pregnant when she came over. And
Okay.
who knows, whatever, maybe I think her husband probably died in that battle in the
I
first
think he
season.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds familiar. Yeah, I think he
And
did
then-
die.
And then Chet because Chet was like fawning for Lucy. He wanted to marry Lucy, but she wasn't
Right.
having it in,
Right,
the start of the last season. So he's kind of shacking up with this. I should get her name because I don't want to keep calling her Blonde Lady. I want to give her an actual name.
I got IMDb up here so I can try to find it. Is it Stephanie Harper? Does that sound right?
Yeah. So Annabelle. Annabelle.
Yeah,
Or
Annabelle
wait, is that the-
O'Hagan. Annabelle O'Hagan's her name. Great fucking name. Annabelle
Oh, so
O'Hagan.
Stephanie's the character's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annabelle O'Hagan sounds like a combo character right
O'Hagan.
now. Like that's someone that works for the Gotham Central Police Squad. I'm Annabelle O'Hagan. But yeah, so okay, so yeah, that does because I remember
And
losing
then-
the eye and okay.
And then so it's not Chet's baby, and he just he wants a job. But then at the very end of the season, there was a couple people who were really vying for the position of like overseer, but then
Yeah.
Betty gave it to Stephanie, which seemed like kind of a weird pick to everyone. And then they're all like nice, so they're like, "Oh, nice, congratulations!" And so she's like assigning jobs for everyone, but I guess just wants. She doesn't seem to care about her baby, obviously. Like she didn't
Yeah.
even name this baby, so that's not a good sign.
And like you said, it's just with this character, I don't know, are they doing the just aloof humor where okay, they're kind of idiots, or is it because are they not paying to their baby because they don't understand and they're just so busy? And like I said, that's the joke of it, like, oh, I got a kid, but whatever. Or is it they don't care too much about it right now, right? They're just busy doing all their stuff. So we'll see. I think the only thing that worked on the like. I was just busy trying to catch up on that, and that was like fine. The whole Chet Jr. thing and everything is okay. Nothing was working for me. I think the only vault humor stuff I liked was the little intervention the guy was having with the two couples talking about like trying to get them repeat like we're related and that's okay, and then talking about this whole scenario.
Right.
And then he gets stuck with the other lady who's like, oh, if we're related, do you think that's what's causing my stomach issues? And then he has to sit there. That's the only time like I didn't outright laugh, but I found it funny. But okay, so yeah, same thing. I'm gonna be curious now because obviously last year the whole storyline in that vault was the brother finding out, and you're kind of seeing the facade of the vault. I am interested of how much time we spend there without Lucy there, without the brother locked up, and I guess that's why I think the brother will get back over there to kind of interject that story. But I just don't know like what the vault's going to serve as importance. Not saying it should not be in the show. I'm just curious of this season what the tool's going to be, right? And I guess because they don't know it's all. I guess the other people don't know there's something kind of wrong with them being down there, right? So maybe that's going to be the thing. You're going to see a lot of them find out that this isn't what we thought it was going to be, like Lucy did last year. So, and the brother, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I am curious to see where this goes. I guess I'm more interested in what happens with these unthawed people. I don't care so much about the little politics going on in the other vaults, but I'm sure that'll all intertwine as you mentioned. So
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
We didn't see what's his name, Maximus, at all this episode. I thought we would, but
I was gonna mention that. Yeah, I guess at the very end, like after the credits, they had like a little season preview thing, and so there's a lot of him in there. So I'm sure we'll get that. But yeah, he's not in here. Which I guess the I wonder how much because I imagine him and Lucy are gonna reconnect at some point. But like,
yeah.
because he assumes she's still alive somewhere, but she thought he died at the end of season 1, and obviously.
Oh,
went off
did
with-
she?
Yeah,
Okay, 'cause the recap
she's
showed
like
that
looking
he-
over his like dead body, and then
Yeah.
she goes with Goggins, and then the other people come in. The other Brotherhood people show up, and like I forget if they resuscitate him or if he just wakes up or whatever. She just didn't check his pulse correctly.
Okay, the
but
recap
yeah,
didn't show me
she-
that. Just showed her like kissing him, and it just looked like he was unconscious. So
Yeah. So she doesn't know that he's alive still, but he presumably knows she's alive. So, but he probably has no idea where she's off to now.
yeah, no, I guess not. And I imagine what's gonna happen is it's gonna be probably tropey, but he's gonna be back with the Brotherhood. They're gonna be on a mission, and it's gonna be completely not aligned with Lucy's mission. And then they're gonna either butt
Right.
heads, or he's going to make the leap and go with her, which I imagine will be the case. Because yeah, it's just a question of how long they'll be till they kind of reunite, because I could see them not having much time together and kind of doing like the Two Towers thing, right? Where last season was a lot of them two together. So this season it's going to be a lot of the Ghoul and her together. And then I could even see them kind of set for season 3 that, okay, now maybe in the back half they all get together. And season 3, it's like these three now as a trio. That's the new dynamic, right? It's like how they do, because there's lots of dumb comedy you can do with Ghoul, like when they're around, if they're making love or being lovey-dovey. Like there's tons of stuff you can do with Ghoul and dog meat and stuff. So I the way with the Thawed people and the other Vault people, I feel like that's like a halfway point. I feel him reuniting with Lucy is like a maybe even like penultimate episode somewhere in there. I could be completely wrong, but I just feel like because he's somewhere completely different else right now, I feel like it's going to take a little time. And plus, they might even give him his own story, right? Something that doesn't even have to do with her as of right now. They just happen to link up. So
Yeah, because I mean, she's got a lot of quests in front of her now. Heading to New
Yes.
Vegas, I'm sure a lot of things are going to happen there. Obviously, chasing down her dad, who's at Vault-Tec now. And that's obviously a lot of potential stuff to go on there. And I assume this Vault-Tec building is in New Vegas, but I don't remember that from the game. I can't remember if that's a thing, like the headquarters is there or near there or something like that. So, yeah, I'll have to look into that maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like she kind of has her own objective now. So I'm not sure where the Brotherhood is gonna fall into this storyline.
yeah, I'm not sure if they maybe find something that's happening in New Vegas, like if there's some sort of MacGuffin that building has that the Brotherhood's going to get to, right? That Kyle MacLachlan went to, and that's what I'm hoping for, because I'm a big Kyle MacLachlan fan. Twin Peaks, Showgirls, Desperate Housewives. He's popped up a lot of places in my life. So last season I was so disappointed because he's like in that first episode, and then he's gone till the
Yeah.
finale. So I'm kind of hoping, even though it's in like little doses, I'm hoping we're gonna get him. And his speech was a little ominous at the end. I didn't know much what he was talking about, other than just like that's why I imagine this house guy or some semblance is still alive, because it sounds like he's talking to somebody in particular in a threatening manner. I don't know what he's going to be doing with said gear, but yeah, I do like the dichotomy of when he opened up this door and you see this very like well put together, almost untouched building, like the Vault-Tec thing. I'm not sure if it's like that in the games, but we're so used to in the Fallout world, everything looking pretty gross, and even like the better places, it always looks a little run down. But obviously, this place was the exact opposite. So I am excited to hopefully get more of him, because I'm a fan of him. And yeah, Easy MacGuffin, they got to get to him, and I don't know what they're gonna do and how long that's gonna be. If we're gonna again wait to the finale, I kind of hope it's not waiting for the finale until to meet Lucy and the dad back together, you know?
Right.
So
I would. Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like we're gonna. He will have a very different storyline this season, where I feel like we will see him a lot throughout. But yeah, I don't know if he will interact much with Lucy, and maybe it was just because of episode 1 already had too much going on. But like, there was no one else there at Vault-Tec, right? He's like the only one there. But I don't know. Maybe when he sends
Yeah.
out these comms, maybe he can like connect with some old buddies or something like that. Or I mean, I'm sure, because he was obviously one of the cryo people. Now that all those cryo people are released, if he finds out some of them, I'm sure
True.
he's got a lot of connections with a lot of those people. So we'll have to see what happens there. Yeah.
And I was gonna say, just because they're in like the family one, do you think the brother at any points get out of these vault and he gets interlinked with like with the dad or Lucy, or is he just a vault character again this season?
Man, I don't
feel
know.
like-
Like that's the thing that I struggle with the other cryo people too. Is like, are we gonna just rerun Lucy's story of someone getting
Yeah.
out into the wasteland and they're lost and they don't know what's going on? Obviously, that's like the premise of every game, the start of every game.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense for a new season. But I just don't know if that's as interesting. Of like the brother is being shocked by, wow, look at this world. This world's so different, and he's kind of just having a very parallel experience.
Yeah, I think the only way you can do that, even though, like you said, it does get repetitive, and the benefit that Fallout has is usually you do that every 5 to 8 years, right? So you're ready for that experience. But this is like a couple of years, new season. I think I would kind of like it if a bunch of them got out together, like as a big group. Like maybe you establish a few of your main characters. I think there's something fun there where, okay, you might be reliving some of that stuff as Lucy, but in a group think tank. I think that makes it a little more fun. Yeah, I don't know. And I guess like, I was gonna say the only other way you could do that is like if the show was an anthology, which it's funny. I feel like when the show was announced, I thought there was a good chance of that happening, and I don't think that's ever going to be the case now. So I think, like you said, with them getting in the vault, and even Chet Jr., or not Chet Jr., but Chet, like all the other people, anyone that's good in the vault's finding out that, something's wrong. You do got to be careful with what you do. So I'd rather if they do those storylines, that's kind of like a one episode and done, and you kind of go there. Or maybe a lot of them are just going to die, and
Yeah.
you won't really have to worry about that, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky too, though. Is like you only have so much, even though it's 8 episodes. Like as we mentioned, we didn't really establish much in this episode. Like it's really just
yeah,
baby steps, and now we have like more storylines, but we didn't really lose any characters who were already on their storylines from last season either, right? Like we still have the Vault stuff going on, which is like both the Vault drama also Norm separately. Now adding on this like other unthawed people. I guess Lucy and Goggins are kind of paired up now, so maybe that like
Yeah.
kind of condenses two stories into one. You still have Maximus and all of the Brotherhood stuff going on out there, and then we're still getting seemingly flashbacks of Howard and stuff that was happening to him.
Yeah.
Now we have Robert House and maybe more flashbacks of him as well. So it just feels like, boy, where is all the time to do all these different things? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if that's a worrying thought, but maybe some of these storylines are not going to be as big as we are expecting.
True. Yeah, like the Vault people could be somewhere it's like you're only getting a couple, like 5 to 10 minutes each episode, or maybe they take a couple breaks.
I mean, already
For
a
me-
protagonist from season 1 didn't have any screen time in this episode, as you mentioned, which is kind of a crazy thing for a new season to not have Maximus in there, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's not only is it just Maximus that comes with the Brotherhood too, right? So there's
Yeah.
more characters and story there, but yeah, that's why for me, I'm gonna completely wait and see till we'll get to the end of it. But for me, if they kind of take up too much time and they're not too fulfilling, or they're kind of repetitive, meaning the flashbacks or the Vault people stuff, that's where I'd kind of go, well, I'd like if you lost one of these stories, right? Right now, I'm with the flashbacks, but at the same point. I couldn't take those out because I feel like with you, if you the way you're speaking about it, I imagine other people have some endearment to the House character. That makes sense, right? Of okay, well, we're gonna give this character a lot more backstory. That's a big character in the lore of Fallout. It's very much like Rings of Power with Gandalf, right? It's like this is just like a prequel Gandalf, like that story, right? It's just a prequel Gandalf. So I'm not saying the whole story is gonna be about Robert House, but that's why for me it's like okay, that makes sense why that's in there for that point of view. Now I need to see why the Vault people are in there. And again, it's just episode 1, right? So at least that's one thing that we were complaining off air. I did get a lot of ads. Sounds like Dylan did too, but at least they are usually close to like a full hour of actual episodes, right? It's not like the we've talked about before some Disney Plus stuff, other shows where it's 8 episodes and 25 minutes and there's 16 characters and you're like, oh boy, what's gonna happen? So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, again with the Hank storyline, don't really know where it's going, but I am pretty intrigued by that. Like just lore wise, that feels like a new pocket for me, and I'm curious to see what that is. I also love his golden Pip-Boy. Fuck, that was sweet.
yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my last note is just kind of a quick one here, which is the flea soup lady, as your
Yeah.
nickname alludes
She felt
to.
like a character right out of fault. Like just even all her interactions, her speech patterns, she felt like awkward the way that you would say they would say something and you'd pick something like what you want to say and then they'd answer. So that's a 10 out of 10 for notes as far as it feeling awkward because it felt like a game character in a game scenario where it's just like, okay, this person's
Yeah.
weird, so.
And even the fact that she just like randomly has this huge lore drop of like, oh yeah, my son was kidnapped, which in the game that would be like, okay, that's a quest. Now that's going in your
Yes.
quest log, and now this is a thing you can do. Do it for a reward. But in this case, Lucy, she's not doing that. She's not taking on that side quest. It'll be there in her Pip-Boy, but she's not gonna select it as the main objective at any point. And yeah, she was all that actress was in Jury Duty. Have you seen Jury Duty yet, Travis?
That's the James Marsden one, right?
The James Marsden thing, yeah.
Yeah, I watched. I didn't remember her at all, but yeah, I watched that
She's
after
like
Nathan for You.
the kind of goofy old lady who keeps like falling asleep in the court sessions, and the guy they always like keep egging him on to like wake her up and stuff like that. So that was fun to see her in here because yeah, one of those actresses. I mean, they obviously for the casting of Jury Duty tried to pick people that are so unknown that the guy wouldn't
Yeah.
catch on that they're all actors. But it was cool to see her in something else. I'm sure the writers loved Jury Duty and was like, oh yeah, we want her in here for the thing. I'm sure that's the order of events. So that was a cool little moment.
Everybody watched Jury Duty. That was
So
a Dylan
good.
recommendation. I watched it. I'm excited because they're doing a season 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
They are. Yeah, I think
I
they're
didn't see
obviously
that.
gonna. Yeah, I can't remember when they announced that. I also feel like they can't bring back any of the other cast, but they did. When was this? Yeah, announced by season 2. When was it was announced? Early 2025. So earlier this year it was announced.
Yeah,
No date or
that's
anything like
cool.
that. Which obviously because I
That
think
just-
it takes well, but
it just feels like one of those shows you can't do just because of the premise. But like,
Yeah.
I also feel that way about like anything Nathan Fielder, and he's done like a million things, and somehow there's still people who just don't know who he is, and he can still
Well,
get
that's why,
content out of
right?
people.
And that's the thing where there's tons of people that even if you might have heard like Nathan For You, you might not think right away it's this same guy and that same narrative. Like I think the bigger he gets when he's doing a show like Emma Stone, stuff like that, I think it always gets harder. But even like I think most of it's real. I think some of it's put on, but even like Sacha Baron Cohen, he can still do sometimes that Borat stuff, and people don't know, right? Because we're just in this
I
bubble.
mean, they film so much and cut it
Yes.
down to the stuff where people aren't reacting in the ways they don't want them to, obviously, right?
Yeah, but no, it's a fun note. Yeah, I like the little scenario. Like, as a good mention there was just this big lore drop there, and I thought it was gonna be something, and it was just her at the end, just being, "Well, if you find money, that's mine," you know. And
Yes,
that's
yeah.
it. So,
Classic.
yeah. No, I don't. I was trying to think if I had anything else, but I think we've hit upon it mostly. So,
Cool. I hope we have a big Fallout fan in the Discord like we had April for it, because even though I'm a big New Vegas fan, I still haven't even played the DLCs of that game, so I'm a fake
Yeah.
fan, honestly. So for any things we missed, like maybe this flea lady is a vendor in the game and I just forgot about, but hopefully someone can let us know if we missed any cool details. But I've been playing a little bit of New Vegas recently again, and I think I want to
Oh.
download Fallout 4 again. I'm definitely itching for
Oh.
some Fallout.
geez, yeah, and I think we're 2 decades away from Fallout 5. You know, that's a long
Oh, yeah.
time away.
At
so,
least a decade, which is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. So, do you have Games Pass, or are these the ones you own?
Sorry, say that again.
Are they on Games Pass, or are these the ones you own?
I think I own like 3-4 New Vegas. Do I own 76? I might own. I think I bought 76. I think I own the games.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I remember you bought 76 because you and Amber took that plunge, and I was like, well, that's a big plunge to take. But you know, there's still adding
I mean, those
content
games
to it, though.
go super cheap on Steam, so
Yeah.
I think but I don't have the New Vegas DLCs, and I don't know if those. I've added them to my wish list. I think that's
Mm.
why I've never bought them, because I didn't have them on my wish list. But now, next time they go nice and cheap, which they might over the course of the season, so that'd be fun, because there's like 7 DLCs or something. I haven't played any of them, so.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, no, I was just asking because we were talking about Resident Evil. And I was scrolling through to give people a quick backstory. I wanted to maybe play Resident 5 and 6 before the new game, but I didn't want to purchase those games because I remember back in the day not really enjoying them that much. So I saw that they were on the premium, and I also saw that Fallout New Vegas is there. So it's funny that I'm so used to like with Xbox and Games Pass because I don't have that anymore. But when I did a subscription, all the games there's tons of games that are on both services. So you just kind of think about that, like, oh, it must just be there. It's like the only thing I was really bummed about, though, no like EA or Madden or anything like that, but they got UB Play or Plus on there if you subscribe to like the second tier. So if they announced those black flags, but no, I was just asking because I saw New Vegas on there. So I'm thinking, I think they have on PlayStation Premium like a deal until like January 12th. It's like some percentage off. So I might take the leap because there's a couple games on there, and I don't play for Games Pass anymore. So I might kind of, replace it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a call. There is the Discord. As usual, if the Discord doesn't look, because I had 2 patrons today or this past week say, oh, I tried every like 30 days to refresh. We always try to put the new link in there, but sometimes it changes. So yeah, if there is somebody that's a big fan or wanting to have any lore, we will create a channel for the Fallout discussion, but join that. And like I was saying, if there's something, whether it's on social media, the Patreon, the YouTube, if you say, hey, I can't get in the Discord, just let us know. We could drop a fresh link. But yeah, so we'll see when we're back next for episode 2 and see with 3. We'll see when they drop these. Then it might be a couple days later, or we might just do a combo of 2, 3, and 4. We'll just kind of see, because obviously the holidays is a busy time for everybody and things are going on. But hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will be back in the future, and it will not be boring.
Bye-bye.